Kids, and both the intro track for the Go Live 2020 album and their expanded upon version of that intro track released off of their 2020 In Life repackage album. The song talks about the pressures you may feel to live life at a fast pace. Sometimes you feel pressure to live life quickly and to achieve things even quicker. Then when you start living at a slower pace, others may taunt you and call you slow, like the tail, the tortoise, and the hare. But through this track, Stray Kids tell their listeners that it's important to live life at your own pace with their lyrics, "My time and my tempo are more valuable than gold. I won't follow time. You can just follow me." The track is composed by Amanda MNDR Warner, Peter Wade, Kush, and the 3 Stray Kids members, Bengchan, Changbin, and Han.
3, 2, 1, go. It's very atmospheric to begin with. Ooh. Oh, I fuck with that snare rhythm.
It's really like rhythmic, like there's a lot of subdivisions within each beat.
Yeah, it feels like they're purposely manipulating flow to like work in the theme.
I love how it switches to the tritone and then resolves. Tritone, resolve, tritone, resolve.
Yeah, the percussion seems like it's very sharply
word.
divided between really in your face and really subdued. That was sick. Okay.
His voice is
On a non-chord tone.
it's confusing.
What is this like microtonal singing?
Ooh.
Da-da.
It's like between an E and an F when you land to the. What? It is microtonal.
Shit, this is...
New sounds. I can't believe.
Share your. Is that deep voice affection?
Oh, all the way, baby. All the way.
I love that they gave him that space. They drew back a lot on the percussion to just force
Yeah,
you to
you
listen
you don't
to
need
his
anything
voice.
else.
That was.
Why
that was
would you
smart.
cover up perfection? No, let it shine.
Simple, like harmonically, but that was like. That was sick. It's minor. Whoever produced that was crazy. The drum programming was like fantastic.
I'm thinking about like how the drums are mixed and how they're playing. So like, I mean, yeah. So there's like the bass is like all on the pretty much this one pedal note, and it's like a dotted quarter thing, like a something like that. It's like almost just snare and bass drum. And it's like right, like that. It's pretty in line with what a lot of jungle music does, which is kind of like a subgenre of like dub music. The genre's really kicking off right now. But also how the drums are mixed, like the really like tinny sounding snare, and like it sounds kind of like it's far away, but also not. They're mixed in a way that sounds like a jungle drum set, and it's also an electronic drum set like that. That's an important thing about it too.
Having that snare like just start right off on those like inner beats was like so. That like threw me off and then drew me in, and I was like, whoa. But then also when they start talking, like, because they're talking about going fast in the beginning, and like living life like with speed, fear of missing out and stuff. And then when they started talking about slowing the pace down, literally nothing happened except these like ambient like chords, or not. I don't even know if they weren't even really like chords. It was just sound. It was like almost like a glass of water.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, and there was like no rhythmic like congruity between those two things. Like it just like Just like, so that like almost made me feel like, I don't know, in movies they do it a lot. Like when somebody jumps from like a high height and like there's like anticipation to land somewhere, it's like, and it's like this really cool way to, you know, like especially with like rhythm that drives like that, your adrenaline and your like, just your expectations are just like continuously falling forward, which in a sense is what like they're talking about we do in life, is we're continuously waiting to fall forward. But when they stopped us like that, we were just like stuck suspended in the air, like whoa. So it forces you to then like slow down and recognize like what they're talking about and kind of actually take in their message of the ways in which to perceive living. Kind of cool.
It seems like, you know, they're talking about rushing, and then that one time it dipped down into I'm living in my own pace. I really liked it. It does feel like that moment where something random just happens in the day. Maybe you return to your room after a tiring day, or just any sort of day, and then you suddenly it just hits you like, what am I doing and why am I doing all this? You know, maybe it's time to change my pace, you know? Because so often we live.
Bravo.
But we forget to, we don't self-reflect.
All right, do you want to talk about it or dive into the...
Let's go right in.
Okay.
Let's go right in.
So this is the expanded upon version and with subtitles.
Oh, it is exactly twice as long. No? Yes? Yes. Because 150 plus 150. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, I like that weird faint.
It's something sort of B.
Yeah.
Oh, they're throwing us right in.
Fast, fast,
Oh,
fast.
I remember this. Okay, now I remember this.
That's so funny. Faster, oh my god, that's so funny.
Let's say faster, really freaking slow, and let's say slow, really freaking fast.
Yo.
Something cool about this song is that it's a really slow meter for me. I hear it as that 1, 2, 3, 4, and with 30-second notes. So it's at one time also really slow and incredibly fast.
Wait, his
That's a
name
pretty
is
awkward
Lino.
See, unpredictable melodies, impressive. Yep. Accentuating that tritone. The seventh of the chord.
Oh, that's so funny. Gotta go and then gotta go. Oh, that's so awesome. The wordplay is like insane.
Take it slow. Oh, the text painting is just thrilling.
But you're speeding it up. It's so funny they're talking about going slow, but the beat is just incredibly insistent, fast.
Whoa! What is this off-key singing? Clearly intentional.
Thanks, Felix. I always love that.
Oh, did they use a pan effect? Oh no, that's just overtones. Yeah, for that synth sound, they took the EQ, they were like,
This is really existential. Just the way the song is composed.
The doubling with that drip sound is actually adds a lot that I didn't think about before.
It's going up and down. That's true.
We got a
That
sentence.
sounds like a nursery rhyme. Da 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 da.
Continuation.
Is that it? Wait, that's so cool. They used a nursery rhyme in this.
Say what?
It's a nursery rhyme that I used to sing
Yeah,
like
the
all the
tortoise
time when
in
I
the
was a
air.
kid. It's like dungle.
Oh, that's so cute.
I found it.
She found it.
I found it. I think it's this one. Oh shit. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
둥글게 쌍글빙글 돌아가며 춤을 춥시다. Yeah, I couldn't sing this.
What are they? Wait, what are they doing? They like slap. Wait, let me see the video. Let me see the video.
No, she's just dancing.
I gotta watch it.
Dude, props to this girl.
It still feels short. How does it still feel short? Even this time, I felt like when they repeated like I know, we know, you know, it felt very empty. And I kind of got what they were, it's like we all know this feeling. I think that's what they're saying.
And it's
but
also a message.
I think,
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I think ending it there, the first time I heard it, I was like, what? That's so, it just feels so hollow. But then I realized it's supposed to feel that hollow. It's supposed to feel sort of ending on a question mark, sort of. We know, I know.
And it's also a message that you've heard over and over again. And so even if you're not abiding by it, you hear somebody give really good and wise advice, and you're like, yeah, I know. I already know. But you don't do it anyway. Maybe that's not what they're going for. I can't hear you right now.
Owen's frozen.
Wait.
Yeah, Owen, what are your thoughts?
Hello?
Ah!
Both of us are frozen? Ah, shart.
There's so much more to deep unpack after knowing the lyrics. It's back and forth with like whether or not they're saying fast, quickly, or saying slow, slowly, or vice versa.
So obviously like this is a melodic. Like we're not gonna talk about any chords because like there was barely any. But I think I kind of liked how they did it. It was more like a percussive like melody. Like it wasn't really melodic, it was really percussive. And I really liked the play on their words. Like at one part they're like faster, but he was singing it slowly and like the rhythm was slow, and then he was like slow, and he was doing it in a faster rhythmic like play. Like it was more of the subdivision within the faster.
That's the thing, because it's not really changing tempo, it's just changing subdivisions.
And they're really like going to the different feels within the certain tempo. And I think that relates to like life, like in a way. Yes, we may all be at different paces, but at the end of the day, we're still gonna end up at the same place if you just stay on the right path, if you keep on doing it. As musicians, it's like you constantly, there's 2-year-old, like 3-year-old prodigies. They always are trying to find somebody who's younger, who's better, who's doing this, but at the same time, like you should still acknowledge, like even if it's an improvement after 6 months or even a year, it's still improvement and you're still getting better, and at the end of the day, you'll still get to the finishing like goal.
I feel like this is a pretty good textbook example of the difference between tempo and subdivision. Because you can say like, oh, there's a faster or smaller subdivision here, as opposed to an actual speeding up of tempo.
So, beat, all right, is talking about the consistency. That has to do with tempo, where we're sitting. Everything is hitting right here, okay? That's our beat. Rhythm is how we manipulate what we're saying and singing around that beat. So rhythm is ever changing. And so when you play with rhythm, you can also play with how the beat feels, even though that's still staying steady. So you're talking about syncopations or putting things off by a beat or delaying and elongating rhythm patterns across the same beat will get you this different feel of feeling like, whoa, where are we going?
Because like, I know for some of my friends, like they're not all musicians. So like sometimes they'll be like, oh, and that part where it gets faster, And I'm like, well, it's not really getting faster. And they're like, but it feels faster because the subdivision is getting smaller. So that's
So it
like
adds intensity.
Yeah, that's like the cool thing
yeah.
there. Like you don't actually, when you're writing a song, you don't actually have to change the tempo because there's so much that you can do with rhythm that'll make you feel like you're going faster.
I suppose with this song, you viewers at home just tap your chest or like keep a heavy beat through the whole song, and you'll notice that it's consistent. Let me listen back. Yeah, no, they're still keeping it. Ba 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 ba. He's so low. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, I'm still keeping this steady beat through the whole thing. He still does it. They just took it out. They took it out, so you can't hear it anymore, but it's still there, and he's still feeling it, and we're feeling it.
Sometimes even playing softer or louder can have that same effect too, where like it feels like it's getting faster or like slower, but it's really just changing dynamics. Sounds are so cool.
There comes a point when you draw a line between microtonality as a cool thing or just not being in pitch.
Microtonality is, I mean, it's any sort of division of the octave and not the ways that we're used to. We're used to it being divided evenly into 12 different segments. But microtonality is basically where you move any of those segments just a little bit sharper, a little bit flatter.
All right. What's the rush? You can slowly crawl. It's all right.
I think he's just playing the character of it.
No, he is playing the character. It just kind of threw me off.
I don't know, I kind of liked it because they went with the character. Is he playing the character of the tortoise? Because like he's taking the train. Yeah, I think the way
I get it.
the tone of his voice is,
Yeah.
it just represents
That's
the
good.
tortoise. I think it's just very interesting to hear like the different push and pull and like the different speeds that each of the parts are giving, and that really that really gives the tortoise and the hare feel. And I think a lot of Korean music, like especially in like traditional music, is a lot about storytelling. And I think, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I can like totally tell from this, like there's a lot of storytelling like aspects to it. And like, yeah. I really like how he put the Korean nursery rhyme in it. Took me back to some really bad times, but it's okay. It's okay.
That was such a turn I didn't
It's
expect. I think they are just philosophizing. Philosophizing. I think they're just having a conversation.
Because they don't want to go fast, they just want to play.
It's a lot of different thought processes. What if I don't want to go slow, but what if I want to go fast, but at the same time take things slow? What if I want to go slow, but at the same time still take things fast? Like, I think what this song touches is the intricacy of going fast or going slow in life. It's not just going fast or slow in something. Like, there's so many different aspects to it. And I think what the juxtaposition of, you know, like, why is the rhythm slower when they're talking about going faster? Why is it fast when the rhythm's slower? Like, I think that's just in part of, like, there's so much more complexity in life that you can't, you don't just, like, you're not just, like, slow. You don't choose one path. Let's bring it to, like, classical music. Like, there's a pattern, there's, like, in Mozart, there's, like, a melodic pattern that's really incredibly difficult to learn. You'll spend 3 hours a day going, like, just digga 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 digga, going through it, then breaking it apart. 3 hours, and you do it at tempo 70. But then the next day you can go to tempo 75 rather than going to 71. You know, like, you're going faster, but you're still taking your intricate time to go through it, and then you could do it the opposite way. There are so many things that, you know, we can take our time with, but at the same time progress in a larger, like, in the tempo of our living.
I think they're all fairly young. Maybe they're talking about their youth and like how, you know, how people want to grow fast,
absolutely.
but then, you know, you should really take your time.
Yeah. So like their work and what they're doing. So it's like,
yeah, when they're making
can,
music.
Yeah, they can spend their slow time in youth. Like, they can be slow. Like, they can revel in the concept of youthfulness, but at the same time be pushing themselves and trying to produce as much, like, creative music as they can that's beyond their years of their youth, you know? And they can enjoy the slow and the serenity of their youth, but at the same time trying to go 10 steps ahead faster than anyone else in the production of their music and in their, like, envisionment of their future. So that's something.
I think in some ways this is Stray Kids perhaps commenting on, like, how the world is run right now, which is like, we need you to go fast, go fast, go fast, don't stop. If you stop, you're done. you're not worth anything anymore. And so I definitely feel like this is a reminder to me. It's like, go at your own pace. You have only one life. You know, your time is worth like gold.
Totally.
Worth more than gold, as they say. So yeah, it's interesting.
I think this is also just talking to themselves, because there's this one line where Han's like, I told you to hurry up. Why are you still writing? Why are you so frustratingly slow? I think there are times in our lives where like we have like writer's block or something similar to writer's block. I know we have like musician's block where like we can't, or like a plateau. And like we want to push ourselves to like hurry up and like just get as much content out. And I think this is just like a conversation back and forth, and like I guess like their minds, like
It's an inner
you
monologue.
have to like, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to like show the best part of myself to like the world, or like to my teacher, to, you know, my certain professors. But then, you know, your brain unconsciously is telling you to like, you know, slow it down, like chill, just have fun, like you're young, just do your thing. People will like you either way. Just be yourself.
Nope. It's Vienna Waits for You. Come on, Vienna by Billy Joel. Oh yeah, this is Korean pop music. I forgot.
I love their wordplay. Very interesting. It kind of reminds me of, actually some of the operatic works in like the classical canon, they do that kind of crazy, like very explicit word painting. This is like the first time that I've seen it in K-pop in such a way where it's like, they're just giving it to you straight, and that's so shocking, because we're expecting something a little bit more like, oh, it's like metaphoric. But this is like, no, like slow, fast, slow. Yeah, and it's made musical, you know what I mean? It's like something that could be seen as like a joke. It's like, go slow. It's like they're actually doing it, and it's musical. And so I think that's like, it's kind of it's something new to me.
Yeah.
All in all, I think that was a great song. I liked the atmosphere of it. I loved all the muted timbres. I also loved how the drums interacted with the sort of electronic vibe that they're going for. It almost reminded me of some sort of Flaming Lips vibe, some kind of like avant-garde electronica with the drums going crazy. I thought that was pretty cool and unusual, especially for the kind of stuff that we normally hear on the channel, and really interesting.
I like the barrettes that they're wearing here.
Felix.
Is it I got a 2 on the Fred JP test.
You're thinking about baguettes.